What's good, King Gonda? It's your boy Oshay Duke Jackson. Back at it again with another episode here on the King Gonda channel, man. And today I have a brother, man, that I've been knowing about for going on 20 years. We're from the same city. He's one of the best athletes to ever come out of the Sacramento area. You don't really talk about that much. And he's also the brother that influenced me to take my first trip to Africa. The one, the only Prince Dynasty Mir from the Search from Uhuru channel. Welcome to the channel, brother. What's going on with you?
Hey, Oshay, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for having me. And everyone, just to let you know, he comes from the wrong side of the same city. What? So he's from the Heights. So he comes, again, from the wrong side of the same city. So I'm from the south side, right? The only side that really counts is Sacramento. He's from the north side, and them Negroes out there are ratchet and trifling. So that's where he's from. But go ahead. But we still love him. We still love him, though. We still love him.
You know, they always been hating on us, but it's all good, man. Brother, tell people about your channel, because you've been so influential, not only in Black YouTube, but in the Pan-African social media space since you've been going hard. Tell people about what Search for Uhuru YouTube channel is about.
Yeah, in Search for Uhuru is the handle here on YouTube. Basically what we're doing, we're building a bridge between the diaspora and Africa through art and culture. So I've been going back and forth, establishing these relationships in order to, again, make the transition easier for the diaspora, for those who want to relocate or visit Africa. So Search for Uhuru has become a resource for those in the diaspora who want to visit, do business, relocate, live on the continent.
All right. And like I said, man, you were my first, I would say, the person that really motivated me, because not only were you a, African-American brother, but you're from my city. I knew who you were. We have some of the same closest friends that we've been knowing for years. Mm-hmm. So when I saw you on the continent moving, it really motivated me to stop talking about it, but to actually take a trip.
Right.
And that's what our conversation is about today, man, because you're the first people that I've heard that were calling people out for going to France, taking trips to Colombia, taking trips to Dominican Republic and Brazil. In fact, you had a story about going to Brazil. You were almost about to go to Brazil yourself, right? Talk about that a little bit.
All right. So 2011, I was still in corporate America. I was doing very well, making very good money. And I remember telling my good friend, he's a big brother to me, and he's a mentor as well, Fitzgerald Stevens. I told him, like, hey, I'm making all this good money. He said, you need to take a vacation, go on a cruise, or just go travel somewhere. I said, okay. So naturally, being how, from what I've observed and been told, like, if you're a Black man with expendable income, go take a trip to Brazil or go to Dominican Republic and trick off. So I was gonna go to Brazil. So I remember a friend of mine, she's from Brazil, and she was like, yeah, we'll go to Sao Paulo, we'll go to Rio de Janeiro, I got you. I said, okay. So we had planned out to go to Brazil in December of 2011. For some reason, she couldn't make it. So I'm like, look, I'm not going to Brazil by myself, so I need to go somewhere else. So another friend of mine, brother of mine, Yishak Abraham, I told him what was going on. He said, go to Africa, go to Tanzania. And I said, Tanzania? He's like, yeah, go to Tanzania. And so I started researching Tanzania, and there was an island off the coast of Tanzania called Zanzibar. Right. And at the time, in LA, in Santa Monica, there was a club called Zanzibar. I just never knew it was a real place until I researched and saw that it was a real place off the coast of Tanzania. So I ended up going, and I fell in love. And I started just to ask myself, like, why would anybody leave this to come to America? And that's somewhat how Search for Uhuru got started. And I just told myself, moving forward, as long as, moving forward, if my vacation time is going to be used to go to Africa, like, I'm not going anywhere else, I'm going to Africa. So that's why I started to challenge other people to do the same thing, because we cry about racism here in America. We cry about how, the white man is holding me back, the Asian man is holding me back, this person is holding me back, but we go vacation to their countries. and then brag, take pictures for the Eiffel Tower. Then we cry again about how they were racist towards us in France and how they're racist towards Italy, and they're racist towards us in Greece. But then we continue to go back and visit these countries.
Right.
So I'm just like, why continue to go to Europe when you just go visit Africa? And so that's why I started challenging Black people, especially Black people who cry and complain about racism in America, as if they're not going to face that same racism when they travel in Europe, or they complain about how this minority group in America is racist against us, but then they go to these countries and as if they're not going to face those same issues in those countries, and then they spend their hard-earned money traveling to these countries, then complain about how they're dealing with racism in these countries. So I'm like, okay, to end that, how about you just go to Africa? So,
and I want to say this, man. You know, you have. I'm forever indebted to you. You changed my life, whether you know it or not. And I always give credit. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't even be this channel that we're on.
right.
All the things that I have going on in Uganda. If it had not been for you, I wouldn't have never. I probably would have been talking about Africa. I would never would have went. But what I've noticed, you know, I'm also in another sphere. I am, you know, now a proud person. So I'm a Pan-African, also proud African-American. But, you know, I'm in another sphere of Black YouTube that is known as the manosphere, right? And a lot of guys always talk about, you know, they want to go to these places. You're talking about Brazil, Colombia. And when you talk about Africa, a lot of guys are like, well, I mean, it's kind of far and things like that. But, you know, for you going to Africa, how has it changed your life? You know, and Black men, because I see a lot of Black women in Africa. You know, you have, you know, Sister ES over there. You have, you know, African Superstar over there. You have a lot of more Black women in Africa. But why not a lot of Black men? Why not so many Black men? Why are Black men not going to Africa?
I think there are a lot of Black men who are actually going and traveling to Africa now. It's just, I think the spotlight right now is on the Black women who are traveling to Africa.
Okay.
But as far as the distance, I mean, that's an excuse. I mean, you could fly direct from, we'll say, New York. I just got back a couple weeks ago. Went to Sierra Leone, then went to Gambia, then went to Senegal. Senegal, you could catch a direct flight from Dakar to New York, and it's only about an 8.5-hour flight. I mean, the flight from New York to Rio or Sao Paulo, I think, is about the same distance.
Right.
So the whole distance excuse is just that, an excuse. So if you could fly from, you know, pretty much anywhere in America to anywhere in South America, I mean, depending where you go, then you can also fly anywhere in America to Africa. You know, depending where you're located in America, you might tack on an extra couple of hours. But if you're a brother on the East Coast and you're going to South America and you have no problem or issues with the distance, but are making excuses to go to Africa, again, it's just an excuse.
Let me ask you.
I'm sorry, making excuses to not go to Africa.
Right.
Then it's just that. It's just an excuse.
Let's talk about this, because, you know, like a lot of Black men, you know, they feel, and even me, right? Like when I first went to because the first country I picked was Uganda.
Right.
And I actually, you've been all over the continent. I've only been to maybe 5 countries now. But, you know, a lot of Black men, you know, until we were showing some of the people on this channel, like what some of the ladies look like, because a lot of, you know, Black men are also very visual. They only believe, I don't know why they don't believe that, you know, beauty is only over in Colombia or in you know, Dominican Republic. As far as, you know, women, and we're not trying to, you know, sexualize anybody, but
right.
what is the diversity that the continent has for African American men as far as finding, you know, women, finding love, finding partnerships? What does Africa have to offer the places that you've been?
Well, I mean, beautiful women are everywhere. I mean, there's not a shortage of beautiful women I mean, beautiful women are going to be everywhere.
Right.
I mean, you're in Africa. I mean, there's going to be beautiful sisters all over everywhere. So, I think again, that's just an excuse, and if you're into black women, if you're into
Right.
sisters, this idea that there's only beautiful black women in America or Colombia or Brazil, I think that you're just misinformed. I mean, there's beautiful black women all over this planet.
Right.
So
let me ask you this though, because a lot of brothers that come from our community, they'll say, well, black women in America, they're not necessarily so submissive. You hear that all the time. Well, if I go to Africa, the women are not going to be as feminine. What will you say to brothers that might talk about that? Like, because feminism is strong in America, so
right.
In Africa, women are not going to be like they are. They're probably going to be the same. What would you say to a black man that has that thought process?
I disagree. I think the African women have not been affected by feminism like women here in America. And then also too, the great thing about Africa is, over there, for example, here in America, women could weaponize the family court system against you.
Right.
They over there, they can't do that. Like I tell my African friends, like some of the stuff that goes on here in America in regards to the family court system, they just look like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just like, what? Like I was telling my friend the other day, like in America, if you get behind on child support, they can lock you up and take away your passport.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, child support is supposed to be for men who don't support their children. So even if you're supporting your children, you can still get on child support, still be taking care of your child. But
right.
because you're behind on child support, they can still lock you up and take away your passport. Like
right.
to them, it's just like, it's like, well, it doesn't make any sense, but that's right. How it goes in America. So I think, the main thing is like, not even the feminism I would be worried about. It's just the way, and it's just not the family court system, just the system right. in general here in America, how it could be weaponized against you. Exactly. Same thing when I tell my my African friends in regards to homes. Like here in America, if you're late on taxes, they could come snatch your house.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like over there in Africa, it's like they could do what? And then I have to explain to them, like here in Atlanta, as far as back, 07, 08, around that area, 06, how when just in general, when the property values are going up in a lot of these areas that were being gentrified here in Atlanta, how older people were losing their houses because they couldn't pay the property taxes.
Right.
Like I was telling my African friends that, and to them, it's just, they couldn't understand.
Right.
So that, that I think that's the huge difference is just the system isn't weaponized against you in every step that you take. Like, that's just, I think that's the differences.
Let me also talk about this, because a lot of times where I see a lot of black men, wanting to go to Dominican Republic or Colombia,
right,
or places like, because what, in the black travel spaces, I mean, obviously there's the Pan-African space where everybody is looking to stay within Africa, and then you have the space where you got a lot of these brothers that are going to these places like Brazil, those places, right? And when I see them over there, it's hard for them to like maybe integrate into the economy or to start things new because of the language barriers, or there's just a lot of barriers to foreigners. But when I started going to Uganda, it was so easy for me to get an opportunity. Same thing with you. You actually got citizenship in Nigeria. And I'm seeing these guys, they could never get citizenship in the DR. They never do it. So let's talk about the opportunities you've gotten just by going to Nigeria, meeting people all over the continent. What doors have opened for you as an African American brother?
And I think that's another thing too. And you don't understand how many times I thank God, right, for canceling that trip to Brazil in 2011, because no telling where I would be. Like I thank God, like God, thank you for aligning the stars and canceling that trip I was supposed to go to Brazil in 2011. Because I think as black men in America, number one, and who are trying to, I guess, make an impact outside of America, if that's what you're really trying to do, if you're being sincere, you have to understand, like, you being a black man, you're not going to make an impact in the Dominican Republic. You're not going to make an impact in Brazil outside of just videotaping yourself chasing women. And you know, and that's your prerogative. Like, if you want to go to Dominican Republic or Colombia or Brazil, I mean, seriously, outside of videoing yourself, vlogging on how many different Brazilian women and Colombian women and Dominican women you got, like, you can do that in America,
right?
You know, you can trick off in America. So it's just, you have a lot of people who are vlogging, they're tricking in Brazil and Dominican Republic and in, you know, Colombia or whatever. Like, you're not making an impact,
right?
So why? But and that's if that's what you want to do, that's your prerogative. That's fine. But you have an opportunity, because number one, okay, Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Brazil. The first question you have to ask yourself: how are black people in these countries treated? They're treated like trash.
Say it again.
How are black people in these countries treated? They're treated like trash.
Right.
So it's like you're trying to leave the racism in America, but you're going to Brazil, which the police brutality is far worse in Brazil than it is here in America. You're going to Dominican Republic, same thing. You're going to Colombia, black people are on the bottom. So again, what kind of impact are you trying to make? Now, if you want to go trick, well, your money, your lifestyle, go for it. But I think if you're truly trying to make an impact on humanity, right, outside of America, Africa's where it's at. You'll be received. People will help you out. You connect with your brothers and sisters here in America. Tell them, like, look, I want to go to your country. This is what I want to do. They will help you out. You can set up shop. You'll be respected. They love to see us come and helping out, creating opportunities like Oshay's doing in Uganda. So you can make a bigger impact period on the continent than you will anywhere else outside of America, if that makes sense. Because like I said, the brothers I see that are, you know, look, I'm gonna leave America and go blah, 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 and do this. Like, outside of just tricking off, like, I don't see anything but I could be wrong. There could be some brothers out there that are doing it big and really contributing and building in Brazil, Dominican Republic, and Colombia. And, you know, if I spoke it too soon, I apologize.
Right.
But for the most part, if I would say, black people who are already in these countries, if they're for the most part locked out of the economy, right? And then number one, you go to these places, what makes you any different? And plus, you don't speak the language.
No, and the thing about it is, right? At first, I credit you for getting me to the continent. And then the person that I would say that it was September 2018, October, around that time, September. And I met Wody Maya in Nairobi. And I was complaining about flying from Johannesburg. You know, I had I was having some fun out there. And then Wody Maya was like, yo, Oshay, man, just come. I know the ticket's like $5 one way, because I was mad, right? I had to pay that one-way ticket. He's like, man, if you come, you're gonna make that money back. And lo and behold, because I met him, at the time I met Dr. Mumbi, and I was able to meet some people in the city that was, because you know he was shooting everywhere. And one of the guys that was shooting with him is Satati, who I have now. And that changed everything for me. Like, just knowing that one person. So when I go to, you know, I just can't see guys who go to Dominican Republic, who go to Brazil, Colombia. I don't think they can. It's that easy. They can find people that can just change their life like that. And it's because of people like you. And, you know, like I said, I always credit Wody Maya for that, you know, for putting me on game to excel. And that's the one thing that African-American men need to do, I think, is looking at coming to continent Africa where you can partner. I mean, obviously the women are very beautiful, like even in Uganda, They got Eritrean women, they have Ethiopian women, they have Sudanese, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenyan. I mean, everything. It's, it's the most diverse continent on the planet. But as far as black men that you want to get into, if it's your entrepreneurial brother and you want to have opportunities, Brazil's not gonna let you rock like that, in my opinion. DR ain't gonna let you not renown it. Go ahead.
They're not. I think black men who decide to go to these places are not going to reach their potential. In fact, I think black men who decide to go to DR, Colombia, Brazil, I feel they're doing themselves a disservice. It might as well just stay in America. That's just me. That's just me personally. I could be wrong. I mean, but whatever makes you happy, do it. But like, what are you trying to accomplish? Now, if your goal is just to have peace of mind and get women, then all means, Brazil, DR, Colombia, go for it. But if you're truly trying to make an impact, man, it's not going to happen over there.
And I would argue for me, I would argue, I went to Uganda, I went to Brazil.
Uh-huh.
I was in Brazil wishing I was back in. That was me personally.
Right.
I was wishing I was back in Uganda when I was in Brazil.
Right.
So I would argue that if you go to certain places, like if it's about you want to, sister that's a little bit lighter tone, you go to Eritrea, Ethiopia, not Eritrea right now, but you go to Ethiopia, if that's what you like. But there's everything that's there, and it's not to be perverted, but it's natural. Like you don't know what you're getting out there, man. It's all store bought and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing better than the continent for a black man if you're looking for everything it has to offer. And a lot of brothers, because the thing I like about you built a bridge from the African American community, and you built a whole community around what you did, and you included the Nigerian Americans and Nigerians. Right. You've included brothers from Liberia. Everybody's in this big community you have built over the last few years, and black men are getting left behind. And when we go to Africa, you see the Lebanese doing this. You see the Chinese doing this. You see, what are we missing out on by not working with the continent and just all as black men in general of all, races and, what are we missing out on not unifying and trying to work together to build up the continent in our diasporas? You
know what I hate, Oshay? Like whenever I hear a black man say that they're not going to go to Africa and build because the Chinese and the Lebanese and Indians are there, it's like, so you're going to allow another group of men dictate your moves. So you're not going to go to Africa because of another group of men are being successful in Africa. That sounds so weak to me.
It is
like, I never understood that. So you're not going to go in Africa and build and take advantage of the opportunities because you have another group of men who are taking advantage of the opportunities and are creating and building and becoming successful. To me, that is just such a weak excuse. But a lot of us here in America, we have no issue using that excuse. You're missing it. You're missing. In fact, there's a documentary called and like me and my Sierra Leonean friend were talking about this. Mm-hmm. There's a documentary called "The Men Who Built America." And it talks about like the Rothschilds and the Carnegies and the Vanderbilts, as far as them building the foundation. Now, of course, we built, the Senate, our ancestors built America, but you know what I mean? Like the
right.
Carnegies and the Vanderbilts and them laying like the so-called foundation of America. White men, right?
Right.
But it's just like, why can't black men, right, who brag about how they built America, but we don't control any of it,
right?
That's just the truth. We don't control any of it.
Right.
Then we want to use the excuse, well, the Africans don't control Africa, the Chinese do, but they control a whole lot more in Africa than we do here in America.
Oh, that's for sure.
It's just for sure. Like we got to stop using that excuse.
No doubt about it.
Why don't we want to put even more of a black face
right
on I would say the building and the foundation of Africa? Instead, we want to complain about the Chinese, we want to complain about the Lebanese, then we want to complain here in America how, the white man's holding us back here in America. It's like we just want to complain, instead of taking advantage of these opportunities that are available to us on the continent.
Right.
And I'm not saying you got to go to Africa and build the Sears Tower or the world largest building, tallest building, but just something like what Oshay's doing, what I'm doing, just go and get started, connect with the people and just get started on the ground, and just it will grow and snowball from there. But we don't really want to do that because the Chinese, the Lebanese, and the Indians that we complain about white people here in America.
Right.
And we're just missing out.
And I want to say this, and the same thing. That's what the sister from the African Unite Force said. What you're saying, and for those people that talk like that, brother, I've noticed that those people are just not serious.
Right.
So when they have that kind of tonality, then they don't it's not for them, right? And obviously your channel and my channel, we're not trying to force anybody to want to work with the global Black community if they don't want to. I don't even know why those people even come over to our channels. Like, why are y'all here? Waste your time. But what I've noticed is that on the continent, from our perspective, because we're from the West, where, and I'm not trying to be biased against any of the brothers and sisters in Africa, but as African Americans or people that grew up in America, when you come to Africa, or some of the continent of Africa, there are a lot of people that have a lot of talent that are not even getting recognized, and the greatest resource that Black people everywhere have is the talent. I'm not even talking about like natural resources, but there's so much talent in Africa. And the thing that a lot of brothers don't understand is that, your potential, it could be your potential business partner, it could be your potential wife, your potential whoever else, is probably somewhere on the continent that just somebody else don't see the talent that they have, but you do. And that person is going to be the person that you might bring each other $1 million and don't know it. Let's talk about the talented people you've been able to come across since you've been going to the continent.
Yeah, I mean, talent is everywhere. It's just, I think opportunity is what is somewhat lacking.
Right.
But again, let's come build, like you said, global black family. And that's the same thing that Julietta Blackson says. It's like, we're a global Black family, and we can't continue to. Now, if you want to, rep your Black American identity, that's fine. If you want to rep your Nigerian identity, your Senegalese identity, your South African identity, that's completely fine. But at the same time, we're still a global Black people, and that's how we have to operate moving forward. And I just think that's what we're missing out on, especially Black Americans. And it's to the point now, I think a lot of us here in America is like, we're purposefully like cutting ourselves off from the outside world outside of America. And I just think it's going to bite a lot of us in the butt for doing that. It's going to backfire because we're the only people that are doing this. We're the only group of people, the Black American.
Right.
We are the only group of people who boast and are proud about cutting ourselves off from outside of the borders of America.
And we're stupid
and not getting involved. Like, we're the only people who think this way. And it's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah.
And let me tell you this. And again, not to kiss your behind or anything, but when you changed my mind, well, actually, I was kind of interested in Africa. I was studying like neocolonialism already, so I was very familiar with like Sani Abacha, people like that, the Biafra War. So I already was studying stuff, but I already had an interest. But I now know what it feels like when a Nigerian gets U.S. citizenship and then they're able to do things in their country. And the opportunity they have. We don't have that opportunity. I now know what that kind of feels like now. To be able to have a house in Uganda. Go ahead.
Well, we do have the opportunity. Just we don't want to take advantage of it. We can have the opportunity. We just don't want it.
Yeah. Before, that's what I'm saying. A lot of brothers don't really know. Like, we're just thinking about America, but you have the opportunity to be like that in both countries. That's how African immigrants or Russian immigrants or anybody that comes, to America that can make money and go back to where they're from and set up things. Man, they have it made. And that's the thing that I'm now starting to see. Like, even though I'm not, culturally Ugandan, but I've been there for 12 times and I've been received very well by the people. Like, now I know how it feels. I can move around here and I can move around there. Like, damn, I didn't even know I could do that. Right. And go ahead.
Oh, sure. I'm gonna tell you something. So when I got my Nigerian citizenship in my passport,
right.
I caught the bus back from Nigeria. I was going to Togo. So I stopped in Benin, then I went to Togo, right? And so my friend picked me up from the Togo border, the Lomé, it's called the frontier between Togo and Benin Republic. He
Right.
picked me up, and I told him like, yeah, I just got my Nigerian citizenship, I got my passport. He said, Dynas, you are now a free black man. Those were his exact words. He said, Dynas, you are now a free black man.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's just being able to operate
Right.
freely, you know.
And speaking of South Sacramento, our good friend Cedric Singleton, he had the best record company ever in the city in Sacramento.
Right.
And he's in Africa hardcore now, and he was doing, he signed Mozzie, he had Sibo, Brother Lynch. He didn't have a reason to do it. And I talked to him, I've been in his office several times. He said, man, I get more accomplished in Uganda than I've ever gotten accomplished, right now in Sacramento.
And I am excited that I have a strong team of people to help us achieve our goals.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting so much work done. I'm actually getting more work done here than I am able to get done in the United States. Because we have a team of like 30 people here in Uganda. We have a team of like 15 people in Kenya. So just being able to work with this team, with our team in the United States, with our guys in Cuba, we all work together. Everybody is helping to build the dream, and it's something that I'm excited about. No pressure.
If it's a guy like him who has had a lot of success and thinking like that, why are we not all thinking like that?
I don't know, bro. But at the same time, Oshay, I'm kind of like to the point, just seeing the amount of dysfunction in our community.
Right.
I'm kind of to the point now, like, it's kind of like a good thing that, like at first I was like, we need to go to Africa. We need to help build, but now I'm kind of like, some of y'all just stay here. Just stay in America. In fact, the vast majority of you guys should stay in America, especially what I see what's going on here, so. But yeah, I mean, if you're serious, man, it's why not? Why wouldn't you not take advantage? And plus, it's our birthright. We were involuntarily taken from Africa. It's our birthright. We didn't choose to come to America. So Africa is still your birthright as well.
Right. And we try to get, especially black men, that have been, I've met some brothers in Uganda, African-American brothers that have went, and a lot of African brothers that, are from the continent and are now back in Europe and coming back. And I just want to tell black men all over the diaspora that, wherever you pick in the continent of Africa, there's a lot of opportunity. And I want to, again, thank our brother Prince Dynas Amir for just opening it up and connecting people, especially, what you've been doing in the Nigerian diaspora, bringing on the professionals, bringing on the people to give information and knowledge so that people can get a head start. Any last words you want to talk about, with your channel and what you're going to be having over there?
Yeah, we're just expanding. Right now, coming into 2021, I'm a licensed real estate agent here in America, in Georgia. And basically what I'm doing, I'm taking those skills to Africa, because I was watching one of Oshay's shows one time, and he made a great point. And not saying you can't reinvent yourself by going to the continent, but it's just you have people like Oshay was saying, and we might be exaggerating some, who are janitors in America, and now they show up to Africa, and first day they're all of a sudden gold and diamond experts in Africa. So, there's certain industries I want to get involved in on the continent that I'm like, look, I'm going to gain the skills here first,
right?
Learn the language, and I would say transfer those skills to Africa. So, like when it comes to land and, selling real estate, I wanted to do it here first, get a license, have that expertise, that professionalism, and then go do the same thing, set up shop in Africa. Same thing with the media. We're doing the tours, next tour, April 21st to the 30th. We're going to be in Sierra Leone. Come join us. I'm already into insurance, so I'm going to do that there. So basically, it's just doing what you're doing here in America and transferring those skills to Africa and just making those systems better.
All right, so guys, make sure you check him out on the first comment pinned to the top. It's my brother. He's my big pan. I'm older than him actually. So
Yeah, you old as hell, Jay. You old as hell. Yeah.
You mad, but in Pan African, he is the big bro in this community. Like I said, he's probably the first guy that I know in this space that was doing what he was doing. Not everybody's trying to do it, but he's the first original guy. Search for Uhuru was the initial starting point. OG, triple OG. So guys, check out the first comment pinned to the top. It's your boy Oshay Jackson. Always remember, keep it real, King Gunner forever. We out.
Peace.